So today, Major League Baseball announced that Fernando Valenzuela has passed away. Fernando was played for the Los Angeles Dodgers. He was a Rookie of the Year. He was a Cy Young Award winner. Everybody knows about Fernando Mania. And he was 63, same age I am. My relationship with Fernando was, had a chance to meet him several times. I remember when I first heard his name, he came up. The guy was stellar. And I don't have any notes. I'm just basically talking out of just my memory. But I will tell you this. I've seen Fernando pitch many, many times at Dodger Stadium. There were also times when we went down to San Diego and we saw him pitch when he played for the Dodgers against the Padres. I'm going to say probably in the 80s. Him and I looked alike, a lot alike. That's what a lot of people said. In fact, this is my photo. I remember walking into Milwaukee County Stadium when the Brewers played there. I was like the only Hispanic in the entire stadium, and we walked in late to watch the game against the Brewers and the Minnesota Twins. We got there in the second inning. I was wearing my Dodger cap. I was with my brother-in-law, and as we walked into center field, everybody started pointing at me and chanting, "Fernando, Fernando," which was hilarious. And they said, "Hey, man, where are you from?" And I'm like, "I'm from California." And I remember they said everybody wanted, back then there was no cell phones, but man, if I had a cameraman, we'd get a picture together because, people said I looked like Fernando, which I thought was an honor. And then we ate and drank all night long for free because, hey, this guy looks like Fernando. So it was hot dogs and soda and peanuts and homemade cookies and brats and you name it. And then my son Jacob and I were at Dodger Stadium one time, and this was actually the day that Fernando was going to be introduced as an announcer for the Los Angeles Dodgers for the Spanish broadcast system. And my son and I were on the Vin Scully press box. We were walking around, and I was showing my son, the things that were on the walls and the baseballs and the bats and everything. And all of a sudden, there were four gentlemen in black suits walking our way. And in the middle was a guy wearing this pea green suit, and it was Fernando. And Fernando walked straight up to us and started talking to us like he knew me. And so we started talking, and I introduced my son Jacob. Jacob, this is Fernando Valenzuela. And my son's a pitcher, so of course, I introduced him, Cy Young Award winner, Rookie of the Year. It was amazing. But he came and started talking to us. So then it was funny because I guess it was his security team was like, "Oh, he's got to go. And I wanted to say, dude, he came up to us. And that was amazing. And then right after that, I'm getting messages. I'm sorry. After he was a broadcaster, sometime in 2005, we used to have a minor league team here in the high desert, Atlanta. It was called the High Desert Mavericks. They were single A, and I found out that Fernando Valenzuela Jr., who I believe played first base for the Lake Elsinore Storm, they were coming in to play the Mavericks in Atlanta during a day game early. So I kind of reasoned to myself, and I said, you know what? I bet you Fernando is going to come in early. He's going to make the drive from the LA area with, one of his partners. They're going to drive up here to Atlanta to watch his son play baseball. they're going to probably catch, because the game started at 11, was probably over around 1:32. They're going to try to catch as much as the game. So I brought a baseball, and I got there early, and I met his son, Fernando Valenzuela Jr., who played for the Lake Elsinore Storm. Introduced myself. He signed the baseball. And it says Fernando Valenzuela Jr., Lake Elsinore Storm, May 2005. So I held on to that baseball, and I'm like, I bet his dad's going to show up. I didn't ask him about his dad, but I was waiting in my seat or our press box or wherever we were sitting. And then all of a sudden, I saw Fernando walking in with this guy. And I looked, and I'm like, there he is. There's Fernando Valenzuela. Now, you have to realize it's a day game. It's May. People are still in school. People are working. There's not a lot of people there. But I recognized Fernando, and I went up to him, and I'm like, I just sat down next to him and started talking to him. And I'm like, Fernando, you probably don't recognize me. And then he started talking to me kind of in Spanish, kind of in English. And he kind of said something about the press box at Dodger Stadium. And I think he kind of remembered who I was. So we started talking in broken English, my broken Spanish, his broken English. We were talking. We had hot dogs together. We chatted together. I'm sitting with a Cy Young Award winner. I'm sitting with Fernando Valenzuela, chatting, having hot dogs, and watching his son playing baseball. And it was just amazing. And I said, then I said, hey, I'm going to show you something. And I pulled out the baseball, and I said, hey, look. And he said, ay, mi mijo, which means, oh, my son. And I'm like, yeah, he autographed the baseball. And I said, I was wondering if you could please autograph the other side. And he did. Fernando was one of the kindest people that I have ever met in my life. My condolences to his family, to his son, his children, his loved ones. And I am just heartbroken, but I'm thankful for the man who took time to sit with me and eat hot dogs and talk baseball and not push me away. And he actually asked me, he goes, do you want something? Because his assistant went to go get something. He goes, I'm treating. You want anything? Oh, man. I'm sorry, guys. Vince Scully. I sat on my dad's lap when I was a baby, and my dad watched the Dodger game, and Vince Scully's voice was always in our house. Every spring, every summer, and most falls, his voice was always in our house for the last, until he died. I mean, from as a kid, in high school, in my single years, in my marriage, when my kids were born. And then I had a chance to meet Vince Scully and interview him, which was amazing. Thank you, Jesus, for that opportunity too. But when I just got the news just a few minutes ago online, like I said, Major League Baseball just said he had passed. And I don't know the reason, and I don't know anything else. I don't know where he was, the situation. But I just wanted to tell my story. He was a great man. He was a kind man on and off the field. And with that, my condolences. Go Dodgers.